WWDC 2023 has been the craziest event that Apple's ever held, and this is everything summed up in less than 10 minutes. Starting off with the biggest thing that Apple's released since the iPhone, we have Apple Vision Pro, the VR and AR headset created by Apple. There's so much to unpack here. To start out with, it has 12 cameras, 5 sensors, 6 microphones, LiDAR, and even iris scanning. It's lightweight and built to be comfortable and breathable. It's powered by Apple Silicon, featuring an M2 chip and a brand new chip called the R1. It has an insanely detailed display, being a micro LED display that has up to 4K resolution for each eye. It can either let you completely get immersed by a digital environment, blend them together, or let you completely interact with your physical environment. The audio is also supposed to be really good. It features a spatial audio system for complete immersion. And on the software side, it's powered by a brand new operating system called Vision OS. This operating system features things like real-time subsystem, iOS frameworks, spatial frameworks, a multi-app 3D engine, and audio engines for the best experience. And as far as developers are concerned, Apple has said they'll release more information in the coming week and the months that come ahead. The price for it is very high though, starting out at $3,499, available sometime next year. Moving on to the hardware releases, Apple released 3 new pieces of hardware. Firstly, a 15-inch MacBook Air. Feature set is similar to the 13-inch Air from last WWDC, but it obviously features a larger screen. It also has an 8-core CPU and 10-core GPU, courtesy of the M2 processor inside. And the price starts out at $1,299. The next bit of hardware is an updated Mac Studio that features an M2 Ultra chip. It's supposed to have 2 times the performance of M2 Max according to Apple, and a 24-core CPU and a ridiculous 76-core GPU. The Studio can also support up to 192 gigs of RAM and up to 240 Hz refresh rates. The last bit of hardware announced was the Apple Silicon Mac Pro. This one's been a long time coming, and it finally makes the Mac Pro a competitive product in the lineup again. It has the same M2 Ultra chip as the Studio, but supports PCIe expansion slots for things like extra drives and audio and video cards. Performance-wise, it's 3 times faster than the Intel-based Mac Pro for 3D simulations, according to Apple. But now, let's move on to software, starting with iOS 17. This update features some big changes to some of your favorite apps, the 3 main ones being Phone, FaceTime, and Messages. You can now set a personalized contact poster and banner for your own Apple ID. The poster essentially takes up the screen real estate behind a call screen, and the banner looks something like this in the Contacts app. The customization should work like the lock screens we saw from last year's iOS update. And as for developers, Apple released the new Call Kit API. Moving on, you can now send people live voicemails. If someone doesn't pick up your call, or if you don't know if you should pick up the call, you can have a live voicemail transcript show up on the call screen. And FaceTime also gets a similar feature, but in video form. If you don't answer a FaceTime call, the person can send you a video message, essentially like a video version of voicemail. Messages also got upgrades, including better search filters, a catch-up feature, and a bunch of stickers. You can now also use a check-in feature to let people know about your whereabouts. And speaking of location, you can now send maps and location sharing inline in the messages view. All of your iMessage apps and games got moved to a new menu so that iMessage UI looks sleeker and better. AirDrop also got the ability to send contacts through a new feature called Name Drop. It works by just tapping your iPhones together, and Apple says that it should automatically send over your contact information. You can now use the same gesture for sharing photos and files, and AirDrop can now send documents through Wi-Fi and over the cloud. SharePlay also gets a similar feature, and all of these have new developer APIs available. Apple also released a new app, the Journal app. It's basically what you think it is, a journaling app, but it's enhanced with AI to give you personalized prompts and tell you different things that you can write about, and even give you an entire list of media that you can add into your journal. There's a new API kit for this as well. Finally, autocorrect and dictation got some upgrades to make them more intelligent on when and what to autocorrect. You can get more intelligent suggestions and inline suggestions while you're typing. Finally, your iPhone now has a new view that's essentially like a nightstand mode. Whenever you put your phone on charge or on a dock, it shows a brand new view that looks something like this. This view shows the time, photos, widgets, through smart stacks, Apple Home controls, live activities, and Siri. It also adapts to the lighting around your surroundings. Moving on to iPadOS 17, we finally get the customization of changing up the lock screen and home screen widgets. The Health app has also been added to iPadOS with a larger screen and more information available. Freeform and Notes also got updates so you can collaborate better in a collaborative setting. And then there's macOS Sonoma, the newest update to the Mac platform. It features new screensavers and finally the ability to add widgets onto your desktop versus being just in the sidebar. It also gets gaming mode, a new immersive mode whenever you open up a game that prioritizes performance. Finally, Safari got a massive upgrade. WebKit got new features so that web developers like me can build more cool stuff, and Apple has talked more about their privacy. Talk about website tracking, how they're removing URL trackers whenever you go onto a website from Safari. It also got profiles similar to how Chrome has them, just with your Apple ID, and Apple introduced something new called web apps. It's essentially a way for websites to get the feel of a native Mac app and some of those features like push notifications. Apple Watch also got an update due to watchOS 10. The watch now has access to widgets and a bunch of new features for cyclists and hikers. There's also APIs for these new features as well. But in my personal opinion, the most important thing about the new watchOS update is that Snoopy is finally in the Apple Watch. The AirPods and Apple TV also got an update. The AirPods now have this new sound mode called Adaptive Sound, which essentially blends in both transparency and noise cancellation for a better experience when you're in the natural environment around you. Apple TV now has FaceTime and can use some of AirPlay's features. There's also APIs for this as well, don't worry. AirPlay will also get support in hotels starting this year, which could be very nice whenever you travel. And Apple TV also got a complete overhaul of the control center for a brand new, sleeker version and some new screensavers. And finally, Apple has said that there's sessions and one-on-one chats with Apple engineers for developers throughout this entire week, just how there have been in the past WWDCs. It's been an exciting day and there's been tons of stuff to unpack, but I hope this video helped you summarize it into a condensed version. If you did enjoy this video, it's been very stressful to make, so if you could leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also if you enjoyed it, subscribe because it helps me out a ton. Anyway, that's all for me. See you.